top of the kitchen island inside Eric's parents' cabin, mentally counting all the secrets I knew of my fellow classmates. The group of cheerleaders huddled in the far corner of the living room, all gulping cheap beer from their cups filled to the brim, had secretly sexted the PE teacher last year for an easy A. That was secret number 1. I shifted my eyes over to Eric, one of Christian and Ollie's best friends, as my feet kicked back and forth below. Eric, with his sobering dark features and stoic expression, definitely had a plethora of secrets, all of which revolved around Madeline, the ex-queen bee of English Prep. That was intriguing in itself, considering Madeline was Christian's ex-girlfriend. But that brought me to secret number 3. Mean, callous, bitchy, spiteful, vindictive Madeline. Madeline wanted everyone to believe she had a perfect life, the happiest of families. But she didn't. She was lonely and drowning in self-pity. The many windows in her house rarely had any lights on when I'd drive past, and her father was in and out of her and her mother's life, which of course meant that Madeline had to watch her own mother bring stray men to their house whenever she did come home. Madeline was like a Pandora's box. She had many secrets that she held close to her heart, much like me. I was drawn to the hidden depths inside my peers. Gathering illicit information on people was my favorite pastime. I could see right through faces that were masked with fake serene. I observed, watched, and waited. I wasn't sure why I was like that. Maybe it had something to do with the fact that I had my own imperceptible, deep secrets buried down underneath my skin that no one truly knew. Not even Haley, my best friend, who was staring directly at me from across the party as she sat on her boyfriend's lap. Haley crinkled her eyes and tilted her head, her dark hair falling past her shoulders. She was silently asking if I was okay. I gave her a short nod with a tiny, fake smile and averted my eyes around the room once more. It was funny. A month ago, I was the one all but begging Haley to go to Eric's cabin for the hyped "you don't live until you go to the cabin" party. But now, it was the opposite. Haley begged me to hang out with her, Christian, and Ollie almost every day. And that would be fine, except for Ollie. I hated Ollie. Loathed him. Or, at least, that was what I told myself. He and I shared a past that I pretended didn't exist, and he dangled it in my face every single time we were alone together. But Ollie had secrets, too. I always towed the thin line of hate that I drew in between us, acting as if I couldn't stand him. And in a way, it was truthful. I got edgy when he was around, but it was only because he knew. And I didn't like that. Of course, he'd only ever once came out and said it in an attempt to get me to fall at his feet. But typically, we both pretended like that night didn't exist. It was a raw, heavy, secret-sharing night, underneath covers in a black as onyx room that neither one of us wanted to touch. He knew something about me, and I knew something about him. Every time I locked eyes with his baby blues, it was like we were in an impasse. My stomach clenched, my heart thumped a little faster, my blood rushed. Looking at Ollie gave me a rush, but in the worst way possible. My eyes skipped past Haley and Christian, his head nuzzling her neck, as I spotted Ollie. A burning hole tore through my belly as I watched his casually cool facade whoosh a fellow classmate right off her feet. He was wearing a tight, plain t-shirt with his backwards baseball cap on, and my breath caught when his large hand cupped her tiny waist. Amber's fingers gripped his forearm, and I clenched my teeth in an envious rage. That was another reason why I hated him. He brought out the worst side of me. The feisty, hot-headed, red-haired girl reared her ugly head whenever he flaunted his excessive flirting in front of my face. He did it on purpose, and I knew it, because each and every time I'd catch his stare, his devilish smirk would appear, and he'd have a twinkle in his eye. I wanted to smack that stupid, sharp jawline of his so he'd stop tormenting me. But I wouldn't.